Attention, Ravens fans! A sad news just exploded in Baltimore, and it could change the course of our season. Broderick Washington, one of the pillars of our defense, has been confirmed as out for the game against the Buccaneers due to a knee injury. This is a hard blow, especially after he already missed the last game. How will the defense adjust without him? Stay with me until the end to understand the impact of this absence and what it means for our team's upcoming challenges. Go Ravens! Broderick Washington will not play against the Buccaneers, and this news could complicate things a lot for the Ravens. He has been dealing with a knee injury that already kept him out of the last game, and now it has been confirmed that he will also miss the trip to Tampa Bay. Washington is one of the pillars of our defensive line, and without him, our defense loses a guy who knows how to stop the opposing offense. His absence is felt on the field, especially against a team that likes to run and mix up plays. With Washington out, the Ravens' defense will need adjustments. He is known for being strong in rotation and for putting pressure on quarterbacks. Even coming off the bench, his presence makes a huge difference, and without him, the defensive line may end up more exposed. This is even more complicated because we are in a crucial part of the season where every game matters, and facing a physical attack like the Bucs without a defender like him will be a huge challenge. The Ravens will need a lot of strategy to cover this absence. This absence raises another concern. How will the defense hold up in the coming weeks without knowing how long Washington will be out? When a player like him goes off the field, opponents notice and may exploit this weakness. And he's not the only important name the Ravens will need to deal with, which adds even more pressure on the team. The absence of Broderick Washington will weigh heavily on our defense. He is one of those players who, even if not a full-time starter, has enormous importance in the defensive scheme. When he is on the field, we can better contain opposing runs and also pressure the quarterback, which is essential to prevent offenses from flowing. Without him, that balance will be compromised, and the Bucs could take advantage of it to advance down the field. Moreover, his absence forces the defensive coordinator to adjust the rotation of the line. Other players will have to cover this gap, but it won't be easy to maintain the same level of production. The Ravens will face an offense that knows how to exploit the flaws of a weakened defense, especially in the trenches. If the team can't adjust well, the defense may end up giving up more yards than usual, which always puts more pressure on the offense to score points. Not to mention that the defense is already struggling to maintain a consistent rhythm. Without a reliable player like Washington, the collective effort of the defense increases, and any mistake can be fatal. This affects both the game plan and the players' confidence on the field. With Washington out, the responsibility falls on other names, and now it's time for some players to show they can handle the task. And you, fan, what do you think of Washington's absence on the defense? Do you believe Madibike and Travis Jones can hold up? Or do you think another player should take on this responsibility? Share your opinion in the comments, and let's discuss it there. And let's see how the defensive coordinator will adjust the scheme to compensate for this absence. Without Broderick Washington, players like Justin Madibike and Travis Jones will need to step up. These two have already shown they have talent, but now the responsibility will be much greater. Madibike, in particular, is someone the Ravens need to intensify his performance because he already has experience and can be an important piece to hold the defensive line. But that doesn't mean it will be easy. He will face an aggressive offense and needs to be at the top of his game. Travis Jones, who is younger, will have a golden opportunity to show what he can do. He has shown flashes of his potential, but now he will have to sustain that for longer on the field. If he can stand out, he might gain more playing time even when Washington returns. It's in these moments of difficulty that we see who is ready to step up, and the Ravens will need exactly that now. All eyes will be on how the defense adjusts without their defensive pillar. Replacing Washington isn't just about individual effort. It's also about how the other players will react to the change. The defensive line will need to work in sync, and any communication breakdown can be exploited by the Bucs. The question is, how will the defensive coordinator adjust the scheme to compensate for Washington's absence and keep the pressure on the opposing offense? Well, we've passed the halfway point of our video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like on this video yet. That's very important for YouTube to keep showing you my content, so I can keep bringing more for you. So, go ahead and hit that like button. It's free. Thanks. Let's continue. With Broderick Washington out, the Ravens can't just follow the plan as if nothing has happened. The defensive coordinator will need to be creative and make some important adjustments to the scheme. Without a strong player like Washington on the defensive line, the team may have to use more blitzes, involving the linebackers to increase pressure on the opposing quarterback. This type of adaptation can work, but it also leaves the defense more exposed to quick passes. Another adjustment that may be necessary is to put more focus on coverage. Without Washington's presence, the defensive line may struggle to contain the run game, which means the defensive backs and safeties will need to help more. This could end up taking attention away from pass coverage, giving more space to opposing receivers. In other words, it will be a game of chess for the defensive coordinator, who needs to find the right balance to avoid leaving the team vulnerable in several areas. If these adjustments aren't successful, the impact could be immediate. The Bucs will capitalize on any gaps in the defense, and this could cause the game to slip away quickly. The coordinator needs to adapt the game plan without losing the identity of the Ravens' defense. And with Washington out for more than one game, the concern begins to be whether this knee injury will affect not just now but also long-term. The fact that Broderick Washington is missing his second consecutive game due to this knee injury is something that is starting to worry. If he doesn't recover soon, it could become a recurring issue for the rest of the season. For a defensive lineman, the knee is an essential part since he constantly needs strength and mobility to fight off blocks and stop opponents. A poorly healed injury could compromise his performance in the future. The Ravens are already dealing with various issues on the roster, and having uncertainty about Washington's condition only adds to the pressure. If he can't return in time, or if the injury worsens, the team may end up having to look for reinforcements or even completely change how the defensive line operates. This affects not only the defense, but the entire planning of the team for the remainder of the season. And with crucial games ahead, there's not much time for mistakes. Moreover, Washington's absence affects the rhythm of the entire defense. The longer he stays out, the more the team will have to adjust to a new normal, which can hurt the cohesion and confidence of the group. If he doesn't come back soon, the Ravens may need a permanent solution to keep the defense competitive in the most important phase of the season. So, Ravens fans, what do you think about Broderick Washington's absence? Do you believe Matabike and Travis Jones can handle the responsibility? Or do you have another player in mind who should step up? Share your opinion in the comments, and let's discuss it. The Ravens' defense will face a big challenge without him, and it will be interesting to see how the defensive coordinator adjusts the strategy to keep the pressure on the opposing offense. Stay tuned, because the season is just getting started, and we have many exciting moments ahead.